Hey folks, how's everybody doing? My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. For today, a small vintage, I guess a form of collection purchase, or I just wanted to share a little bit. This is more of a podcast type video because there's not going to be a lot to look at, but we are here and I am going to show you all some beautiful vintage Magic the Gathering sealed boxes. So I purchased 4 boxes. Okay? For whatever the reason, this one's inside of a fancy acrylic package for whatever the silly reason is. So we got our first sealed box of Legends over here in this fancy little package here. And, well, simply put, these things are so far off their all-time highs in 2021. And I'm probably one of the very few people still willing to put in a lot of money in old Magic when the market is trashy. So that's the first box I want to share with you all. And my attitude and my reason for sharing with you all is, you know, I think we have a couple possible outcomes here. Over the next 5 years, these box prices remain flat or they continue to erode in value as people don't want old Magic anymore, and I continue to accumulate things that I enjoy and are special to me. That's one possible outcome. Outcome number 2, we eventually enter another bull market or uptick on vintage Magic, similar to modern new sealed product and new Magic that's doing a lot better. Eventually that changes. And, well, moments like this, I'll look like the smartest guy and the hero, and everyone, you know, maybe somebody will realize it somewhere, and there you go. There's a record of this date, and this is being filmed in April of 2024, and the transaction for these boxes took place in over the last 90 days, or I guess from January through April. So it took a couple months. These are kind of a couple things put together. So I want to show you, this is our first beautiful looking Legends box. Definitely has a little bit of a wear and everything. It's super old. I'll put that off to the side here. So now we have box number 2. Once again, we have another box of Legends. These are English Legends boxes. Very, very beautiful looking. And absolutely gorgeously authentic old boxes. And you can always kind of peek through there a little bit. You got the nice little infamous ripple in the middle. And you can see our nice little blue, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, the little blue packs in the middle. So again, there's a couple ways to approach this. When you own items like this, I say, okay, well, we have a sealed box. We can open it. We can grade every single card in every single pack and have, what, 15 cards a pack times 36 packs? We can grade every card in the pack, and you can extract whatever the value of that ends up being. Most cards on Pack Fresh, 93, 94 era cards, actually grade between 8, 8.5, 9, and I guess 9.5 for maybe 10% of the cards, and maybe you'll get a few 10s, but most cards out of the pack on even vintage, we usually grade around a 9, okay? And sometimes you get a bad batch of uncentering or whatever issues, maybe it'll be 8.5. But the average cards in here, packed fresh, are going to be 9s, okay? And, well, you can grade everything and do your thing. Option number 3, you could grade all 36 packs and sell sealed packs or a box opening or something, you know? Option number 4, well, you know, you can just open them all for fun and have fun and do a draft and live like it's 1993 and 4. Am I right, everybody? So, box number 3, we have another box of Legends. So in this video, I show you all my highly diversified approach here. So we have another gorgeous, gorgeous old, very worn looking box of Legends, everybody. Super old, and we have our same infamous setups here. Definitely old and authentic here with our infamous middle there. Let's go into the next part of this video. I don't know what will lead to the next attractiveness or uptick of these things. There's speculation between some people in this vintage world that some people believe what it's going to take is for reserve list buyouts in the single cards to uptick in price. So if that's the case, essentially what that means is we're going to need some of the cards in the set of Legends to skyrocket. We're going to need Tabbies, the Tabernacle, to go to maybe $5,000, $10,000 a card. Or maybe we need the 4 Black Horsemen, you know, Abyss, Nether Voids, and, what was it? Oh, God, I'm drawing a blank. All Hallows Eve, holy crap. And the Abyss, Nether Void. What am I missing? Oh, Chains. Good Lord, I can't believe I almost forgot. That's how old I am. Like the 4 Black Horsemen cards in Legends, instead of averaging around, I mean, they're back down to like $300 to $500 a card. You know, those things peaked at almost $1,000 each. So if we have another era where the 4 Black Horsemen go back up, and if those cards go to like $1,000 a card or $2,000 a piece, that also shifts. And remember, there's no mythics, there's no foils. It is just old school hardcore Magic. So if some cards like that continue to uptick or change, we will also see an attempt at repricing probably the packs in the actual value of the sealed box. That's kind of my opinion on that kind of thing. Now, we can also see some weird stuff. Now, Legends is a massive set. Okay, so in this that gets me 245. In this massive set, we can also see a situation where, we have some weird new artifacts and bizarre rares and reserve list cards that actually end up going up in value for the first time in a very, very long time, or get discovered and have interactions with some other new card. So there's always a chance that what drives a new era there is actual other cards become desirable and start to become expensive. Now that's usually the best case scenario, because now you're taking the mutual fund basket of all the cards and Legends, and if we have new cards that the market discovers are underpriced, that can create a very big swing in the value and appreciation of a set. Okay, let's get box number 4. You guys ready? Box 4, you never guessed it. Another box of Legends, everybody. So box 4 over here, we have a box of Legends once again. Not really much difference to see on here. It's quite old and everything, and pretty much rough and dirty, and looks about the same. Not very exciting there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can see it. The blue packs, whatnot, inside and everything. I'll just put that right there. So the fourth option here is that, well, nothing happens at all. And, I'm simply just buying these, and as time goes forward, the price just continues to erode, go down in value, and Rudy just looks like a dumb Timmy. And that's really the end of the whole conversation. Do I think that's the future for these boxes? Probably not. I don't think people realize how rare and desirable things like this are, because I still believe, and I'm one of the only last people probably standing, that there are cards in these sets that are not fully understood even 30 years later. I think some of the rares in this set have the potential to be repriced tremendously. It's been a long time since anyone has really cracked the code or discovered an old 93, 94 card from Legends particularly, because Legends is the biggest wild card set. Like, there's certain sets in Magic, like Legends, I consider like Mirage, like Alliances. There's certain sets that have tons of reserved list rares, okay? And so many of these rares have never really been messed with. They're just deemed bad. They don't do anything. But then every once in a while, once every so many years, we get a card that suddenly goes from a $5, $10 rare and it pops to $100+. And things like that really swing markets quite a bit, because now you're taking the expected value of a box of Legends, which we all know, 4 Black Horsemen, we know what Eureka is, we know what Mirror Universe is, we know what the Tabernacle is. We know what certain cards are, okay? But then suddenly you take 1 or 2 random golden rares or artifacts that were always $10, $20, and if you put them for a couple $100, it starts to become a bigger deal, because you're adding more cards that are in the $100 to $1,000 range. And I've always felt that was the wild card with sealed boxes like this. So today, short and sweet, calm video. I just really wanted to share with you guys some more old vintage Magic the Gathering boxes from a long time ago. That's very, very interesting. And it's a thing of beauty. It really makes you think. And it really makes you look at stuff, and it makes you reflect on the past, and it really makes you ask yourself, how do you assign value? What are these things really worth? Did the bubble already burst and these things are going to continue to drop in value, and Rudy's just going to be stuck looking at his old cards until he's 100 years old? These are the things that make me question a lot of the time and longevity and the reason for doing some of these things. And it can become almost a confusing yet deep thinking situation, Let me leave you all with one last thing. We're in a time where new Magic is doing very well. Just so everybody knows, this is being filmed in April 2024, and these boxes were acquired over the last 3 to 4 months. And this is something that makes me question, are these really appropriately priced? Because new Magic is in a bull market, and people, people will buy collector boxes of Fallout, 6 Fallout boxes on TCG Player, $450 a box. That's $900 for 2 Fallout collectors. That's $2,700 plus tax. That's $3,000 for a mini case of 6 Fallout collectors. $3,000. That's the same buy list price, $3,000. It's unlimited Mox, Emeralds, Rubies, Jets, and Pearls on the major Moon Cities and Card Castle Kingdoms. $3,000. The same price. It's a brand new produced product of Magic. We have serialized cards from Lord of the Rings holiday specials and poster cards and serialized cards from Fallout and everything that are, again, $1,000 plus. We have the One Ring serialized cards and poster cards that are $5,000, $10,000 a card. And it makes me step back and ask myself sometimes, is the new stuff just severely underpriced? Is it severely overpriced? Or is it correctly priced? And based on the answer to that first question, that first variable, what can you derive and how do you think about these old items? Because if you look at an old box like this and you say, okay, these Legend boxes are what? I don't know, $25,000 a box, maybe $30,000 a box, whatever you want to call them nowadays. They're nowhere near their highs of $50,000, $60,000 a box, okay? Well, is a box of Legends worth the same as, 10 mini cases of Fallout? Like, what? If I get 3 Lord of the Rings, the One Ring, serialized poster cards that are $5,000 to $10,000 a piece, are 3 and 4 of those little new cards from Lord of the Rings worth the same as a sealed Legends box? Is the future going to reprice that higher or lower? It really, when you compare and contrast and put things next to each other, it feels very different than it does by just saying, hey, did you guys see a Lost Caverns of Ixalan collector box, all-time high, almost $400 for a collector box of Ixalan? That's crazy, Rudy. Did you see a serialized Murders of Carlo Manor, which the serialized cards are impossible to get? I mean, have you seen the price of those? $1,000, $2,000? It makes you go, huh? Things like that really make it confusing. And it really makes it difficult to value things. And I hope that makes sense to you all. That's the point of this video. I want to share that, this is a little side thing on the past. And I don't know, because while I'm showing you all 4 Legends boxes I bought, I'll put some dramatic clickbait title or something, Rudy dumps all his new stuff to buy old stuff and hoses people. I don't know, I'll put some stupid title to make the idiots online, give them some fuel, and keep the trolls fed. But this is pretty much all the sealed product I've bought for vintage Magic in 2024 almost, right? But at the same time, I've bought so much new sealed product for myself. I've been buying, I've bought more Magic draft boxes in the last 6 months than probably anybody in the United States, possibly the world. Okay, for myself, for patrons, for everything. And I try to keep a palette of all of it for myself. And same thing with collector boxes. You're talking to a guy who made sure I could get a good position of Wildsville Drain collectors, and I trying to get more Ixalan collectors and put it aside, and Lord of the Rings, same thing, all this stuff. And it's just like, holy cow, I'm spending 10 times more on that new stuff than I am on the old stuff. And then and then just like you all, well, should I be keeping that much new stuff? But then the old stuff like this has done nothing but gone down the last 2 years. And then the new stuff is all doing really well and actually continues to either hold its own or actually go up, except Karlov Manor. And it's very confusing. It's very difficult in different market cycles to decide and to know, what you should be doing. And I don't think there is a real right or wrong. Many times, like I tell you all, the only free lunch is diversification. That's why I spread it apart. And no matter what anyone wants to think online, you have to diversify. And one of the biggest things I do is I hold a ton of new sealed product. I've expanded my new Magic sealed positions to largest levels I've ever had. And I've done very little old Magic buying. I believe, the demand and excitement of the new product is just 10 times higher than the old stuff. Now, that could change in the next market cycle or crash, and maybe old stuff comes back and new stuff tanks. But, the market makes those decisions for us. We don't. I don't get to decide that. You don't get to decide that. The market as a whole, well, it kind of finds its way to the efficient frontier and the efficient pricing and what things should be. So, thanks for joining me today, everybody. Hope you guys want to see some really cool old magic here and kind of give you all some of the Rudy thought process on when I look at things like this and some of the things that I battle with myself on trying to figure out that, even buying this, is this the right thing to do? Even right now? I was like, even if these stay flat or even drop further in price in the next couple of years, is this, it's very, even to Rudy standards, it can be very uncomfortable and questioning of yourself at times, Thanks for watching, everybody. I guess as always, if for some reason you watch this video to the end, AlphainvestmentsLLC at gmail.com. If you have old sealed boxes and vintage cards you want to sell or anything, or if you want a video and want to do a transaction, send over the old couple pictures and drop me a line. Other than that, you all have a beautiful day.